I'm not going to waste your time, so there'll be no intro. So recently I came across a product in Dragon's Den that I actually think is quite a viable product. Now, how it's executed and the issues that actually have that this business is actually suffering from will be discussed in depth. So let's jump right in and watch the video and the pitch.
That could actually solve your worst nightmare.
So will her faith in the potential of her business be shared in the den?
Hello, Dragon. I'm Teresa Pope, co-founder of Dandi London, and I'm looking for £150,000 for 30% of our business. Standing in front of anyone presenting, let alone the Dragon, on national TV can be daunting. But imagine if I was stood here with visible underarm sweat marks. I would be so embarrassed. My confidence levels would go. I'd rush through this and want to get out of here. It would not go well for me. So we created the Dandi patch. It's a super thin, super absorbent patch. It sticks to the underarm area. It absorbs all sweat and odour. It's so discreet you can wear it under anything. Nobody would know. And it's also a healthy alternative to deodorant and antiperspirant because it contains no parabens, no aluminium, and it allows the armpit to sweat naturally. Dasha is going to demonstrate how to apply the patch. So you first take off the adhesive protective layer, and then you apply it to the armpit area. And this is what keeps it in place and what makes it work, because it's such a thin membrane. You just take it off then.
Now, to start discussing the product, and there are certain things I'd like to highlight is technically about the product. The first thing is that it is actually quite difficult to make an adhesive that sticks to human skin because you can sweat. The issue with adhesives in particular is that adhesives don't particularly work well in smooth surfaces, and they also work even worse in surfaces that may develop moisture in between the two mating layers. So how this product works, and for it to be able to function, and by the way, I'm using the context of this video and assuming that everything that's said in this video is true.
You just take it off then, and then she's good to go for the rest of the day. We've recently added new problem-solving products to our range, including a painless unisex hair remover and unisex reusable nipple covers that prevent unwanted protrusions, and it is a thing for both women and men. Dash is also wearing our nipple.
And one other thing I would like to mention over here is that if you have such a broad product range, I assume that you're making money already, because investors would probably look at it in the sense that you're not focusing on making one product right if you're not making money off something yet. So I have the assumption that she's making a lot of money off something initially.
Nipple cover.
Yeah. Actually, I did find myself staring at your boobs. Yeah. Let's talk about the hero product, okay? So you sell them as a pack of 10.
We do.
So what does the pack of 10 of these retail for?
$8.99.
And what does it cost you?
Costs us $2.96 at the moment.
So give me a little bit of a flavour of where you're selling them at.
We sell them on our own website. We have recently started selling them on Amazon UK and Amazon in the US.
Yeah.
And Walmart have just taken us in the US, and a company called Hudson Bay in Canada.
Oh, brilliant. So how long has the business been going? How long ago did you start all of this?
Oh, gosh. We first came up with the initial idea in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a good 5 to 7 years journey for us to get to this point.
So at what point did you start generating revenue?
We went to market with this product.
So the thing we need to discuss here is that she mentions in the video that they already recently started working with having their product listed on Amazon in the UK and Amazon in the US and Walmart also. Now, upon checking Amazon in the UK, obviously this video is quite old. I've tried to look through and search for their product. They do have a website, by the way. Dandi London does have a website. But the problem here is that the moment I type under armpit sweat pads, right, even there's a lot of competition on the space. When watching the video, there's the assumption that it hasn't been done before. Now, whether that's true or not, we don't know, but there's a lot of competition on the space. What I know that might be quite unique in her method of implementation is that normally all these sweat pads, you normally stick them on the cloth, not on the human skin directly. And it's much easier to apply her products than the other products on this listing, assuming that they don't stick to the skin directly, because most of them, don't stick to the skin directly. Now, part of the issue that we need to address is the value that she's asking for. She's asking for $2.99 for 10 under-armpit sweat pads. So that's the cost of goods for 10 under-armpit sweat pads, and she's selling them for $8.99. But currently, obviously, a lot of time has passed, and in her website, the listing says that 10 are for $9.99. Sorry, let me just open it. Let me just go to shop or shops. I'm going to check it. 10 are for $9.99. Now, this is extremely expensive when you have something like this that gives you 200 pieces of under-armpit sweat pads for $11.99, right? This already, it doesn't matter how good your product can be, because this is such a huge cost advantage. As a customer, I would always buy this over her original product. So the first issue is that her product is too expensive.
Towards the end of 2017, that year, we turned over 13,500 and a net loss of 187,000. So our revenue for the next year was £43,000 and our net loss was £125,000. So then 2019 was 41,500. Our net profit was 120,000 loss.
Right.
And then we went into 2020, where numbers were 32,000 turnover and a net loss of £30,000. And then our 2021 figure business had 20,600 and a net loss of 96,000. And then this year, our turnover will be around £32,000. Yeah. And our net loss is going to be, we anticipate 150,000.
So what is the total net loss to date in the business since you started?
It's around 700,000.
700,000 is a lot of money to actually lose in the business. Now, the problem is that it doesn't seem like she knows exactly why she's losing this money, right? Is it because of marketing? Is it because of manufacturing? She did mention in the pitch that they focused on the patents, patenting the invention took a lot of money to do. She also mentioned that they had some serious issues with manufacturing. But part of the problem we're seeing here is that, first thing, she's not focusing on one product. This business is not a new business. It's been up for a while. She hasn't ironed out the marketing aspect, and a lot of money is being drained. So one thing that's quite unfortunate with this video is that we don't really get where she's manufacturing the products from, which country she's manufacturing the product from, because she's selling it in the UK currently. And it doesn't seem like it's profitable at the moment.
Yeah. Wow. So I've got to ask, what are you spending all that money on every year?
Yeah, we've had a heck of a journey in regards of manufacturing. We thought it would be a really simple product to make, and we couldn't understand why there was nothing out there. Yeah. 2 or 3 years down the line, we actually realised why there's nothing out there, because it's a really technical product.
Okay.
So that means that we can go under the assumption that none of these products in Amazon, on Amazon listings existed, and it seemed like they just circumvented the patents, because I don't see how they should exist if I take her word for it in this video.
And patent has been quite expensive. We're pretty well covered with our patent.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like they're well covered enough, though, really, because again, their products that are sold in the UK that are uncontested doing the same thing now. So either they've stopped paying for the yearly fee for their patents, or it's not well covered enough.
Devising and protecting a solution to the sweat patch problem has come at a substantial cost. So does a product-savvy Peter Jones feel?
The way that you've branded everything and put everything together is brilliant.
Thank you.
This looks straightforward, but this isn't easy to get the right packaging
Thank you.
and get it done in such. Talk me through what they've said about the listing and what their commitment has been.
Well, we're doing it on a trial basis at the moment to see how it goes. I mean, it's very, very early stages yet.
So you see, part of the issue with this kind of product and this kind of branding is that it's not. Now, let me tell you something about selling a product in the UK. Actually, selling a product in general. The higher value a product is to sell, valuable the business is. Why do I say that? It's because, for example, if I'm selling a product for like $100,000, right, and I'm going to make a net profit of, let's say, 30,000, right? That is a modest figure to ask for a high value product, right? I don't need to sell many of those products. I just need to sell a few, which is why, for example, in the UK, we see a lot of property developers and deal sources, right? And real estate. Real estate is something, for example, that it's high value, you will sell and you make your money. You don't need to focus too much on marketing and selling to thousands of people, right? Now, Peter asked a very good question over here, because now you've brought a business. What are your contracts, right? Do you have contracts in terms of order list in the UK that are ready to buy your product, right? And she said it was early stages, right? So that means that it's not really been confirmed, and that already lowers the valuation. But one thing I'd like to specify in this video is that she is offering 30% for £150,000. Now, that is not too bad of an ask, really, for a company. It's not super expensive, but they're still losing money. And so far, from manufacturing and from protecting yourself, it seems like they've lost a lot of money on just that, which I think that there's still more to it than that, because, we're going to check her financial records. Now, if you see the financial records of this company as of May 2024, right? They say that the current assets is around £100,000, £116,000, £110,000 from last year, right? And what this means is that they ordered in bulk, right? It's reducing, which means that they didn't order more stock on the armpit sweat patch. Now, when we talk about fixed assets are stuff that the company would have long term, right? So this is not the product. These are like maybe the equipment that you would use to manufacture the product. So obviously, from this data sheet, they are not manufacturing anything. Now, if you talk about their current assets, this means stock. Either you're talking about the stock of what you have bought, paid for to get manufactured, or it means that the amount of money that customers owe you. But since this is not a business based on contract, this means that the amount of stock you have, that, by the way, all this information is normally public from Company House. You can do some research in terms of companies that are currently existing and find out what they're doing themselves. And by the way, this entrepreneur that's presenting has also resigned from the company. Just to let you know. So,
I have to say, I did actually put on. I think I'm the only dragon that's actually tried your products. Really, really good quality, and they actually serve the purpose. I copped it on minute, and it seemed to just disappear, and it was held there really, really securely. So, give me the forecast then for next year and the year after.
Our forecast was 595,000 with a 90,000 mark.
And there's something I'd like to tell you guys about forecasts. Forecasts are extremely optimistic values. You can't really, most entrepreneurs that say this don't really expect to meet those targets. But you need to actually be quite careful with forecasts, because, okay, if somebody just presents a forecast to you that, okay, we're going to make £300,000 this year, and the next year we're going to make £700,000. What has changed that you're going to make the amount of money? Because did you get more contracts? Are you going to start selling in other regions in the world? There needs to be more context to that.
Getting 40, 45, because we're not really marketing.
And what loss?
We're probably looking at over 100,000.
Loss.
So even if you pay for a full patent, it doesn't mean that, number one, it won't be circumvented, or number two, you won't struggle with defending your patent, because yes, you have a full patent. That means, but if somebody does infringe on your patent, is it worth suing them? And once you sue them, can you actually fight the legal battle? Because you need a lot of money to do so, and it needs to be worth it. I'm sure you guys have heard the story of Dyson, how he started with making the wheelbarrow, then he moved on to making the vacuum cleaner, right? And he spent a lot of his life fighting patent battles for his own invention. But that's the thing, right? It's too expensive, and it can cost you a lot of money doing so. So what people normally try to do is that, obviously, if you have a product or a patent, how broad is its application, right? So for this invention, for example, I'm assuming that she made the under armpit sweat pads, and the same adhesive technique that is being used is the same that's been used for the nipple patch cover, right? So they are trying to pivot with the nipple patch cover, you know? And then again, is it still profitable? No. So what is going on?
Do you know what? This is going to be a first for me. I'm going to tell you to stop.
Oh gosh, no.
It's not worth
I'll
losing.
tell you why.
You're going to get to $1 million in losses in 2 years.
Because if we invest £90,000...
So this is the problem. I don't specifically agree with Stephen over here to just tell them to stop. Because right now, I feel that there's still really not enough information to figure out why they're losing so much money, right? I'm going under the assumption that all these listings on Amazon had nothing, like, while the pitch was, like, you know, and while this video has been made, that there was no products like this at all. Like, and when I mean no product like this at all, I mean that, let's say, even the way this sticks to the cloth and does the same function, I'm assuming that it didn't exist. If that is the case, I think this advice is bad advice to tell her to stop it. The problem is that you need to identify what the problem is within your business and actually try and implementing a solution, right? Because right now, things are not really adding up in terms of the financials. And I think that's, as an investor, I understand why people will be wary. But like, for example, these are the kind of businesses that if you want to invest in, you kind of need control in terms of, if you feel you can add value to this business, right? They have a good product, but if you feel like you can add value to this business, then you should focus on adding that value, you know. Don't...
In marketing.
Do you know where to invest it in marketing?
We would be looking at social media.
Okay, where on social media?
Facebook actually seems to be...
And the problem with this is that this also shows the investors that people don't want the product. So you're going to have issues with that.
Doing...
What's your return on advertising spend on Facebook?
We've only been putting on £14 here, £14 there.
So you've not done it?
No.
Don't assume that a £90,000 investment in a platform you've never investigated
We're just working on our customer retention, on our customer acquisition cost, which is about £7.
I don't believe that the customer acquisition cost is £7, but that figure at the moment means nothing. By the way, customer acquisition cost means that the money you spend to get one customer versus how much you are getting from the product, right? So you saying the customer acquisition cost is £7, amount of customers, new customers that you have acquired. Now, the lower the number, the better it is. But the problem here is that it's barely been done. There's barely any marketing. So that means that you've not even done any marketing, and the customer acquisition cost can probably skyrocket. In fact, some businesses, when they start up, they have a strategy of heavily marketing to promote the brand, which maybe with that year, they may have terrible customer acquisition cost, but with the next couple of years, they hope to bank on that initial marketing they did to gain loyal customers to keep buying from them.
That we worked out.
Honestly, listen, I don't think you should carry on this business because I'm really concerned about the financial state it might leave you in. You're going to lose about £1 million if you carry on this for another 24 months. I'm going to congratulate you for creating a great product, but I'm going to say that I'm out.
Actually, in protecting something that could be genius, it could be huge.
It could be, yeah.
I think you
100%
wasted your money. And I don't think you should stop spending more money either. Mm-hmm. And that's why I totally disagree with the other dragons. Mm-hmm. I think it's where you spend the money. Yeah.
Yes.
Invest as much as you can in a salesperson.
Yes.
That has been there and done it and got the t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Because I think you then have a chance of recovery.
Yes.
More than the 700,000 you've invested in the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. However, This is not an investment for me because you need to demonstrate that people will adopt and buy this product.
Yes.
If you come in 4 months' time and Hudson Bay have given you orders, your order book would have got an investment from me today.
Right.
But without that, it's too risky. And that's why I'm saying I'm out. But I'm telling you, don't give up.
Thank you very much.
Teresa.
I think so far amongst all the dragons, the person who gave the best criticism is actually Peter Jones, because really there's nothing proven that people want to buy this product. At the moment, that's what it is. There's nothing proven that, okay, people want to buy this product. So Peter Jones in particular, his reasoning over here is probably the best out of all the dragons. So that's the video. You know, what can we learn from this video? A couple of things, right? Just because you have a great product doesn't mean that you can actually sell your product, right? You have to prove the market first, right? And also you need to be able to identify when you're losing money, because right now, throughout the entire video, we weren't really able to pinpoint the exact issue that caused them to lose so much money. Because yeah, £100,000, a patent doesn't cost, in my opinion, that's like equivalent to 4 patents, right? They didn't have that many patents. It seemed like, even in the beginning of the video, it seemed like there were just too many products on the shelf, right? They're offering this, they're offering that. They're not focusing on building their brand on one product, right? So that's the takeaway from today. Thank you very much for listening. Have a nice day.